We are in the BI platform studio, and I'm speaking with Mike Ferguson, independent analyst and founder of Intelligent Business Strategies. Mike, you did a session during our data warehousing and BI conference. The topic was building an enterprise data marketplace. In your opinion, what are the kind of data products organizations can make available through an enterprise data marketplace?
Yes, Verna. I think the kinds of data products typically are physical data sets, virtual, if you like, data products or data sets, and I guess also SQL scripts or pipelines that you can invoke as a service that will produce a data product on demand. So um, I think a lot of people regard the definition of data products a lot broader to include things like BI reports and machine learning models and these kinds of things. I consider those to be analytical products rather than data products. So they're built using data from data products. But it is true to say that some data marketplaces today will not only, let's say, store or publish the existence of data products, but they will also publish the existence of other, what I call analytical products. For example, some data marketplaces will also publish machine learning models that may exist within the enterprise, as well as data sets by virtual data sets. I talked about two different kinds of data product, physical data products, virtual data products. Virtual data products would be a virtual view of data, much like you would see potentially in data virtualization. So you could present that as a data product. But I tend to relate these data products to data concepts in what I would call a data concept model. Therefore, things like, for example, customers or products or orders or shipments or returns, these kinds of data entities that are core to your business would often be created as a data product that you could allow others to pick up and use.
Okay. And what are the advantages of making these data products available through an enterprise data marketplace?
Well, I think the advantages are that you can govern data sharing through an enterprise data marketplace. Also, you can standardize the approach to sharing data through a data marketplace rather than have to support, let's say, a random set of techniques and mechanisms by which you're trying to share data. And so also you give consumers of data products a focal point, a place where they can go to find business ready data. By business ready, I mean, it's already clean, it's already integrated, it's been certified as a high quality, compliant data product. So if the data product contains personally identifiable information, there will be protection of that data as part of the data product built in. So I think the advantages are governance and the ability to share through a common mechanism, both within the enterprise and across enterprises. You could certainly also look at using data marketplaces to share data outside your organization, for example, perhaps with partners or suppliers or that kind of thing.
Well, nowadays, you cannot not talk about AI. Is there a role for AI in a data marketplace? Or what is the role of AI in a data marketplace?
Oh, 100% there is a role. I think the role of AI in the data marketplace is to help understand the use of data within a data marketplace, that you can gradually use AI to recommend data products to people that are suited to the kind of work that they're doing. So I think it will result in personalization of data products, also helping people find data easily, perhaps through natural language requests rather than hoping that they choose a keyword in a search box. So I think there's a lot of roles, but the two that immediately come to mind, are more to aid the consumer of data products as opposed to the creator or publisher of data products. Of course, AI can be used in the creation of data products, but that's kind of before you would publish it in a data marketplace. But I think AI within the data marketplace um, has several roles. I mean, one is to learn how people use and what data people use in order to try and personalize recommendations, and also to observe that to see if there's any kind of patterns emerging from the usage of data sharing. And also we can use AI to uh, automate the um, checking, if you like, on some of the governance tasks around sharing data within and outside the enterprise, so that we can automatically detect, let's say, conditions that would um, potentially violate compliance and prevent those kinds of things happening. But yeah, so I think AI has a number of roles to play within data marketplaces, and we are really only at the beginning of seeing AI within data marketplaces right now. I think there's a lot more that we're going to see over the coming few years.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And how do you recommend organizations approach data governance in an enterprise marketplace? Like, what's the role of data stewards and data owners in this context?
Okay, so absolutely yes. There are a number of roles and responsibilities around data marketplaces. I mean, data owners, of course, are the people who, let's say, approve the publishing of data products within a marketplace that they own. They're also the people who are accountable for um, granting access to data products if a consumer is currently not authorized to make use of a data product. Then the request, if you like, would then be routed to an owner to then grant access or deny access. In fact, it could even be a group of people responsible for that approval process. It may well be that the data steward um, then is the person who is notified to actually create the permissions to grant access on behalf of an owner. But I think there are other governance roles within data marketplaces. For example, um, I also think there's a data product publisher or a publishing manager that is responsible for standardizing the process of publishing data products in order to make sure that, let's say, the correct checks are made before data products are published and made available. Perhaps to make sure that, data products have I've got a data sharing agreement defined with the terms and conditions so that a consumer has to accept the terms and conditions of the data product before they are able to gain access to it. Um, in addition, obviously, data marketplaces can then audit that acceptance and therefore keep an audit trail of requests to consume data and uh, uh, granting authorization to consume it, and also audit the fact that the consumer accepted the terms and conditions. Of course, there's other governance tasks involved in publishing data products, like making sure there's full metadata lineage to describe how the data product was created. There's common data names in a business glossary to understand the meaning of the data within the data product. There are governance policies around data privacy or retention and access security defined around there. Also version management, because it's likely to be the case um, that new versions of data products could emerge, perhaps that are richer than the previous versions, that could ultimately replace older versions. And all of those things have to be are, if you like, what I would call part of the governance um, program around a data marketplace. And so, yeah, for me, a data marketplace is not just a place to publish data sets. It's actually part of a governance software. Its job is to govern data sharing around the enterprise.
Okay. A final question. What do you consider are the key success factors in implementing a data marketplace?
Okay, so I think several things. I could look at that on two ways. First of all, on the creator of the data products to publish into a data marketplace. I think data marketplaces need to be integrated with other key software. Uh, Typically, a data marketplace is a catalog application, so I'd expect the data marketplace to be integrated with a data catalog. In addition, I would expect them to be integrated with data fabric software so that you can, having created a data product with a pipeline, you can then publish from the software that you created the data product with, publish the data product in a marketplace. I think organization of data marketplace operations is important, so that you have roles and responsibilities defined, so that there is a governance of publishing data products to the data marketplace. Also, on the consumer side, I think it has to be easy to navigate and to collaborate with others. So if a consumer is thinking of using a data product, they can maybe ask a question. Has anyone else used this data product? What do you think? Do you think it's high value? Is there any issues with regards to the data within this data product? I think as well, they may want to ask the owner about the data product, perhaps to find out more about it. So collaboration, I think, is a key success factor. Also, consumers may wish to enrich a data product, maybe add additional data to it, and then do what I would call value-added publishing, where they can then post that richer data set back into a data marketplace for others to share. But I think as well, one of the critical success factors is full governance capability. I need an audit trail to be able to share data products within a marketplace, so that you can remain compliant with the regulations in various jurisdictions that you currently operate in. And and then I need a way to provision that data, multiple interfaces. To do that, I, I may want to provision it virtually so that there's no copies of the data actually being created, but it's just giving users access to that data. I may wish to make that data available in a number of different formats. For example, um, as a SQL result set, or in JSON, for example, through an API. Um, so I think that has to be taken into account, and there needs to be monitoring of the use of data products around the organization, not just from a compliance perspective, but also to allow you to understand and learn how data is being used around the organization and try and increase the effectiveness of data sharing by giving people access to relevant uh, relevant data.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mike.
Okay, thank you, Werner.